Shalom, brethren. Welcome to the 19th Sunday of Ordinary Time Reflection. It's Paul Awiti here from Spread Catholic. So, our reflection today we will be focusing on the bread of life. And before we look at that, I want us to go to the gospel that we read on the 17th Sunday of Ordinary Time. So, on that day, we see Jesus feeding the 5,000 people by multiplying the bread and the fish that were brought to him. So later on, when we move to the 18th Sunday of Ordinary Time, we see that the people were still following Jesus. Then Jesus was like, I know you're not following me because you want to hear the words that comes from me, but you are following me because you ate. And your stomachs are now empty again. You still want more. So on the 19th Sunday, Jesus wants to give us the bread of life, the bread that we will eat and live, but will not eat and die. So the big question is, why do you follow Jesus? Why have you come to church? Because at this point, we see Jesus telling them that you are following me not because of my words, not because of what I teach, but because you ate and you are full and you are now empty again, you still want more. So they followed Jesus because of the earthly possession or the earthly well-being instead of the spiritual well-being. So as much as Jesus on that day was focusing also on our physical well-being, it doesn't mean that we should always put much focus on the earthly things. It's that we should use the earthly things to lead us to the heavenly possession. So we see in the beginning of today's gospel, the Jews are murmuring. They're like, this man is saying is coming from heaven, and is this not Jesus? Is this not Joseph's son, whose father and mother we know and we've seen growing up from here? So they're like, he can't be joking. But Jesus is telling them that I am the bread of life. Jesus is telling us, I am the bread of life which comes from heaven. And it gives them an example that your fathers ate the manna from the wilderness, but after all they died because that was not the bread of life. But here I am the bread of life. So what Jesus wants us to say is that he is the Eucharist. Because we say in the Last Supper, he institutes the Eucharist and he says, this is my body, this is my blood, that we should eat it to live. So as much as we focus on our physical well-being, you can just imagine if you don't eat for 3 days, what will happen in your health? You'll be like, maybe you'll start feeling fatigue, you'll start feeling unwell, and if you continue without eating, you'll finally die. So the same way, if we continue living without eating Jesus in the Eucharist, we will die spiritually. So this reading today is calling upon us to stand firm and receive the Holy Eucharist, which is the body of Christ, the living bread. So Jesus is calling us to receive him in the Holy Eucharist. So we should always, at least once a week, that is Sundays, because I understand that we have a lot to do during the week, but we can always have time for our dear Lord on Sundays. Make sure that you receive Christ so that you can be well spiritually. Thank you. See you next Sunday.